everybody. As you could probably tell, welcome to Indie Film Cafe, and we are doing it a little bit differently than we normally do. We don't have my normal microphone, so if it sounds not as great, understand that's why. And also, the microphone usually has a tripod. We don't have one.
We're on the minimal route, like Clerks.
Yeah, we're very much like Clerks.
Presenza.
Speaking of which, everybody show off their. It's the same poster, but with different like little outlines.
I got a little cow.
Yeah, you asked for that, and I got a little cat.
And I got Happy Scrappy Hero Pup.
Happy Scrappy.
So we all got a
Pup.
different animal. That's cool. I wonder how many animals he did. So the guy that did this poster, Greg Steele, was there signing everything and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool.
I should have got him to do Coming in Socks.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Clerks real quick. Clerks we just saw in the theater at the Naro, which is an awesome theater in Norfolk, Virginia, and we had a blast. And these guys had seen it before. Well, did you see it in the theater?
Yes.
Okay.
Not on its original run, but yes, I have seen it.
Okay. So, and what about you? You said you did on the original run.
Yeah. I mean, it was a month or so after, but
Right.
Same year or so that it came out.
yeah, same year.
Same year and
Yeah,
everything.
mine was like 3-4 years later or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the theater yet, but I've seen the movie a million times, so knew every line in that movie. And it was really neat seeing it with the crowd. And I wanted to bring this up before I forget, but I was starting to notice things. You guys ever notice like how much Clerks the movie feels like a sitcom? Every joke sort of has like they have the jokes and they're almost felt like a laugh track when we were all laughing. It just felt really like sort of like because we all knew where the laughs were, it just felt like like I don't know, it felt like a sitcom to me, like an hour and a half sitcom.
Can't say it felt like that to me, but I was very pleased to see that A, there were a lot of younger kids there to see the movie, and B, they really seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you when you write good comedy, it's timeless and it'll find different audience, depending on who's going there.
Yeah, I'd say at least probably a quarter of the audience was probably not even born when this came out.
Maybe even a bit more than that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 93, so I was 11 when it came out, and I was 11 years old. I mean, I told you guys I basically didn't start watching Kevin Smith stuff till Mallrats was out on video, and my friend's brother was watching it, and I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Mallrats," and I was like, "Is it good?" And he was like, "Watch it," So you let me watch it, and I fell in love with Kevin Smith. So, Dan, thank you so much for introducing me to Kevin Smith.
Dan the man.
He's been a Chuli's gum person ever since.
Yes, it's one of my best friend's brothers, so I really appreciated him doing that.
And you're flying your movie.
I am. I'm flying my movie flag right here. People asked me what Movies was today, and I was like, "Oh, it's the Kevin Smith restaurant." And they're like, "Is it a real restaurant?" And I said, "It's a pop-up." So they do pop-ups, and you can actually like in LA and other places, they have the pop-up, and you can actually go in there and get a Egg movie muffin. I really want one. I want to just see what it. I mean, see if it just tastes like a McDonald's McMuffin or something.
It's a shame it didn't pop up when you were there when I was there.
Yeah, it would have been nice. We would have gone for sure.
Oh yeah,
because that would have been a cool experience.
So Paul, you said you saw it first month or so it was out in the theaters. Was it like?
Oh, I said it wasn't the first. It was the, towards the. Isn't that year it came out?
Yeah, the year it came out. Yeah.
It wasn't like in the first week or anything.
But you got to see it like on its initial run or so, and so you got to see it before it started to really get its.
Well, you heard probably about it.
Oh yeah, I heard about it
and stuff. Yeah, and we saw Siskel and Ebert before then. They were showing a bunch of clips and stuff, and they showed a Siskel and Ebert clip of them talking about Clerks and how Clerks was. I mean, they loved it. They loved Clerks, and they were saying that Kevin Smith knew how to write dialogue, and I was just like, that just warmed my heart because I love watching them. And then, sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. There's some movies that they don't like, especially horror. They don't like horror films, and so, sometimes I'm like, I don't agree with that. But this time, absolutely, they love Quentin Tarantino, loved Reservoir Dogs. So they
made a reference in their review to Tarantino. To
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep. So, I mean, and that's sort of like the perfect thing is like Tarantino and Kevin Smith and all of them kind of grew up at the same time, but sort of similar, really witty dialogue and interesting stuff. Now, watching Clerks on the big screen was, I mean, pretty neat
Oh, yeah,
experience.
it's fun.
Yeah, and just things like there's the scenes. There's some close-ups of like there's a close-up of a dog drinking out of the toilet, but it looks just like all you see is the rear end, and it's like on the big screen. That's just like funnier to me, Like it made me chuckle because I'm just seeing this big fucking dog's butt,
It's like going back and finding an old comfortable pair of jeans that you haven't worn in 20 years and putting them on and they feel good, or seeing some friends you haven't seen in a long, long time and you get to hang out with them again. And it was just nice seeing the movie again.
I generally watch this movie every every year. Like maybe at least once a year. I go and see it because I absolutely adore it. I think it's one of the best flicks around. But once again, I had never seen it in theater, so when I saw it, the Naro did a advertisement for it. I was like, let's go. And I asked Paul, and Paul was like, let's get a group. And we had a bunch of people we asked, but a lot of them couldn't make it.
they made it late.
Slackers.
It was a late show time for some people.
Yeah,
9:15.
if it had been 7:15, they would have showed up. But
Yeah.
9:15 seems to be their showing and stuff, which
Yeah, they
they're
had some other
classic.
stuff going on.
and they have more other ones going on too. They
Yeah.
got like Pulp Fiction coming up. They've got Rock and Roll High School coming up. Empire
Dazed and
Records.
Confused.
Dazed and Confused is coming
Yeah, I
up.
think
too?
that was the last one on
Oh,
there.
nice.
It's after Pulp Fiction.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. So I don't know. I want to see Empire Records because I never saw that. Like all these movies I've never seen on the big screen. So
I never saw Empire Records on the big screen. I
Yeah.
saw it when it got to HBO.
right.
I saw it when I worked in the video store and got a screening copy of it. I was like, "What's this?" I was like, "Ooh."
It's funny. Like if you worked at a record store, it'd be even funnier.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with this movie for me. What I was telling you guys earlier is like the first time I saw it, I was watching it with a couple people because I worked in a video store when it came out, and we had a screening copy of it, and we all sort of watched it together in a group and partook and had some good times with that. But
Well, it's just funny to have a
yeah.
screening copy of a movie that takes place in a video store.
Yeah, and we were all video store clerks that were
Did
watching.
you ever
it,
have
so-
to call up a rental or a video producing place and then read off a whole bunch of porn titles?
Not in well, actually, yeah, I did because I worked at most of the time I worked at Blockbuster, but I did work at the other video update movie scene for a little while, and there was times that I did have to call in special orders of the that wasn't Happy Scrappy.
So you were a
Hero.
manager, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, that was a
times,
manager's
yeah.
job. That was never. I as a clerk never had to do that.
Yeah.
So it. So I don't know if that really was what Kevin Smith had to do some days, and he just put that in there, or if like literally he just thought that was funny, like that idea.
Did you feel embarrassed or weird about it?
I would make the orders when nobody else was around, so I made sure that nobody was around because.
See, that's your blew your opportunity to have some fun, man.
Well, you blew your opportunity to spit water at life.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was.
All I do is
You're
spit
more
water at life.
Dante than Randall, weren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All I do is spit water at life.
See, he's the more Randall than any of us and stuff, and he just doesn't. You told me you like tortured a girl once, and you're not like. let's
I got-
rephrase
gone
that.
somewhere
I got a
really
bad
weird.
enough reputation.
This has gone really off
But
kilter.
but like one of your coworkers, you kind of teased her and stuff, and made and stuff, not in a bad way, not in a mean way, but like
No, I made her
Yeah.
call me Clammy the clam one week,
yeah. See, I mean that's
and I wouldn't answer until she did. And when she did, I'm so sorry, Heather. When she did, I just said, yeah, gotta call me Clammy the clam.
that's a Randall thing,
Gary was there and watched it, and he was just like, you were so ridiculous.
Yeah. Gary's also a Randall, I think, too. More of
Oh,
a
yeah.
Randall than a Dante.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Dante. I'm sorry. I can't. I worked at a video store. I would not tell somebody, you're not allowed to rent here anymore. But I did almost get attacked by a man with, those spikes that you put the receipts on and stuff at
Right.
movie scene.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
the
he
little-
threw one at me.
Oh.
And that was because I asked for a social security number, which is what we had to do. It was an old man,
Impaled by a receipt post.
right?
God.
And
You'll
so
shoot your eye out.
I could have poked my eye out.
Those
But,
things were sharp though.
they were sharp. They were sharp as fuck.
And there really wasn't a reason for it. It could have been. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, he was like, I said, sir, and he was an like 70-year-old man or so, and he was like, renting the thing, and he said, I would like to rent a movie, and I said, okay, here. And then he gave me the card back, and I said, sir, it's missing the social security number. And he goes, I'm not giving you that. And I go, well, I'm sorry, then I can't let you rent here. And he goes, why? Why do you need that? And I was like, I don't know. It's just part of the policy, and
The
everybody.
movies cost $90 a pop or whatever.
Yeah,
it was at the
they
time.
need you to make sure that you don't steal our fucking movie, I guess.
Unless he was getting porn, then it'd be a little different.
I don't know how much porn costs. That might even be more.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
right?
know.
Back then,
But
yeah.
back then. But it was just so strange. So I didn't know what was going on and everything. He got mad at me and he threw the spike at me, and I was like,
So he had to like reach down over the counter and grab that. And,
yeah, no, it wasn't over the counter because we had it over here where people could just put the stuff
they
down.
put it on. Okay.
They put it on there. So he took it and just threw it at me, and I was like, oh my God. And then another person got mad at me for telling them that the widescreen, makes you see more. And, they argued with me or whatever and stuff. And I'm like,
You see more picture on less of the screen, and they're like, they just didn't get that.
they don't get that. They don't understand
Now
it.
it's
But
commonplace.
yeah, Siskel Ebert even did a whole thing about it, by the way. Makes total sense that you want to watch a widescreen one, but,
But the video stuff, video store stuff, really hits me because just some of the people with some of the questions they would have, it's just some people, it just you sort of just shook your head at.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of it, I guess, is because I never really did a job like that. I
never did retail.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
No, never did retail. Never did fast food. Never did anything
See, that's like
like
the two
that.
things that I think that every person should have to go through just to appreciate what the bowels of society that could take you to.
I mean, I had to go through the bowels and corporate stuff.
Yeah.
I need shit that way, but I never had to deal with the general public, which was probably a good thing.
Yeah, I did a year in fast food, and I was like, I'm done with that. Then I went to the video
Yeah.
store.
I
The
didn't-
video store has so much fun though in so many other ways, but sometimes it was the line he said in the movie was like, it'd be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
I know. I did fast food for like a week. Basically, I worked at Burger King, and I fucking hated it. I absolutely hated it. I hated going fast. And I'm not. I generally like to take my time. I don't like to speed, and other people are really good at that. Like I have a friend of mine who is perfect for fast food, but me, that's not for me. So working at a video store or being a lifeguard, I did be a lifeguard for a little bit. That was a lot more like reserved and easier to kind of.
That's where your lifeguard shirt from Camp Crystal Lake. I'm just-
Yes, I lifeguarded there.
Well, I mean, I did 1 year at Wendy's, and I didn't eat anything from Wendy's for about 10 years after that.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I still liked Burger King
I
after
love Wendy's.
after I quit.
I knew how some of the stuff got made, so I sort of got turned away from it, and just but
Understandable.
it's just you get tired of it, and then yeah. So
Then you
anyway,
go back.
Even
Yeah.
the Frosties,
I had to clean the Frosty machine.
No,
they clean them.
they clean. I don't know.
Yes,
They get
do.
dirty.
Yes, they do.
Dirty Frosties.
Yeah. Yeah, but the video store, I was just like, when I had a chance to go to the video store, it was like, yeah, this is where it's at.
And you moved up. I never moved up, and I think a little bit of that was like, yeah, I was more of a slacker. I liked being a clerk. I liked being behind there, not having a lot of freaking, like.
I don't know if being an assistant manager at a video store is like ambitiously
moving up the ranks of
yeah, I'm moving up
society.
societal ranks by going becoming assistant manager at Blockbuster or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I guess there was some level of responsibility.
You and
there.
Elon Musk and Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so
Yeah, it goes Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Turek. There you go because of that. But no, it's so funny. Like I don't know. I honestly, I like working. I liked working there at the video store. But I think Clerks was a big reason for me working there. Like I saw Clerks and I said that would be an awesome job. And then I heard Quentin Tarantino that's what his job was, and I was like, that's an awesome, like that just sounds awesome. So I walked into the video store one day and I said, and this is gonna make you guys laugh, but I said, I want a job, and they were like, the lady there, love you, Beth. There's a lady there, and she looked at me and she was like, really? You don't never talk when you come in here, because I never do. Like I would get my movie, give her the stuff, then I'd leave, right?
disappear to the back room, get your porn, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before working there, I never got bored, but
Chicks with
I was
dicks.
not.
Oh, before you worked there, you never.
Well, no, because I turned 18 and I got the
Oh,
job,
okay.
or whatever. So I
You had
never.
to check to see if there were damaged tapes and stuff.
Yeah, and that was the main thing is you had to be 18 because you had to go back in the porn section and stuff.
Yeah.
I think you could be 16 at Blockbuster maybe because
Yeah, 'cause-
there was no porn.
Yeah, they just had Labatt Cinema.
Yeah, just said they had the asylum there, so
Yeah.
that's porn enough for you. But yeah, I don't know. So I went in there and they were like, you don't talk much, and I was like, I think I'll be fine. And then I got there and she was like, after that she was like, you don't ever fucking shut up, do you? And I was like,
No.
no.
The true Moody came out.
The
true
thing
movie came
was
out.
with talking with people with movies, though, it really came down to trying to understand what I always like. What do you like? Give me a couple movies that you like, so I can sort of gauge where they are. Because if they come back and they say, "Oh, I want something like Legally Blonde" or something like that, it's like, okay,
God.
you're going into like PG-13 rom-com type stuff. And then the hardest one of all was when people say, give me a good horror film. And it's like,
Yeah,
horror is the hardest because it's like what one person loves, the next person hates.
Well,
and stuff
you
like
can
that.
be like, do you like slashers? Do you
Yeah,
like ghosts?
exactly.
Do you like, and stuff? Like, what kind of good?
See, I'd have been fired like in 2 days. I'd be too much of a Randall. I'd be berating people for their poor taste in movies.
So a lot of
Why
the
are you
time,
watching that shit when you could be watching this?
well, a lot of the time I'd be like, I just don't put myself in people's personal affairs.
I
Sort of
would've-
like Randall did with.
You know how some of the places have like employees' picks and
Yeah.
stuff? I would have loved to see Paul's picks, like what The Shining, and things like that.
Maybe The Shining right next to like puppet murders or something like that.
Or
Little
Meet
of
the
this, little of
Feebles.
that.
Meet the Feebles
Definitely
next to
Meet
The
the
Shining.
Feebles.
And then it would be like, and it would also be like, what is it? Local Hero and, all these different
Ingmar
movies
Bergman.
nobody's ever heard of. And people, I was watching The Last Blockbuster, the documentary, and the guy was talking about, he was looking at them and it's like, and some people will go like, look at one of them and be like, yeah, I like this one. These person's picks, but these person's picks, they're terrible, whatever. Right? Oh, these person's okay, whatever. And I mean, I don't know. Like my picks would have been like Ed Wood, Dead Man on Campus, things like that.
Yeah, they did something like that on an episode of Seinfeld too, which was ended up
Clerks.
Elaine really liked one of the pickers. Found out it was like a 14-year-old boy was the guy who was
remember
making all the
that.
picks. And so it's. That was great though, always picking the movies for people, just talking with them. And sometimes it's like, then they come back and be like, well, I mean, sorry you didn't like it. I mean, what can I say? It's
I liked it when they got in trouble for making out during Schindler's List.
Seinfeld.
That was fucking funny as hell.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So seeing this movie like in the theaters again is just it's
It definitely
great.
brought back like
Yeah.
memories
I
and
saw
thoughts.
I saw midnight showing at a theater similar to the Naro, Kimball, back in the day, and so I mean I didn't see it first run. I saw it 4 or 5 years after it came out, but still, it's seeing it on the big screen again.
Did
is
you
great.
guys notice anything different? Like, did you notice any scenes or any thoughts or anything, or have you guys just seen it enough?
I've seen it enough. I pretty much know it all back and forth.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess the only thing that I really noticed differently about it, and then, I mean, it's just the scope of seeing it so much bigger and the grand on the big screen versus seeing it on
Yeah, that's
50, 60-inch TV or whatever.
most movies are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
You guys go to the theater a lot more than I do. I almost never go. So seeing it up on this big screen, even though I've done it before, excuse me, it was great to see it again because it's just a different experience, you know, and especially if it's a movie that you really, really like.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the old theater way of seeing it up on the big screen. It's just you can't compare, even with a great, 4K and 8K TV and all that.
Yeah, you can't compare to it. Which is great. I absolutely loved seeing it, and it looked great. It looked grainy, and it just had that feeling of like watching it almost like for the first time. And there were people behind us that were talking about, "Oh, I've never seen this movie."
Yeah,
like,
I remember. Yeah,
the one guy behind us was like, I've never seen this movie before." He's like, "Oh, you're in for a treat."
I did not remember that Jesus Lizard, Panic, and Cicero was in the film.
No.
Jesus Lizard. One of their songs, Panic and Cicero, is on the soundtrack.
Oh.
I'd forgotten about that.
Oh.
So that was cool.
Yeah. Well, the soundtrack was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Soul Asylum and Bad Religion and all these different things.
They had the Fleetwood Mac song, but I don't know if was it Fleetwood Mac singing it though.
Well, Wookie.
No, Go Your Own Way, but I doubt they got it. Yeah, it was when she talked about manually masturbating.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. They played that song. So that was the one song that I knew going into it, but from other stuff.
My favorite scene is always still the Chulies thing.
Shoot. Hold on. Sorry about that,
Chulies.
guys.
I love the Chulies, especially when they go through that whole thing, that entire long thing. And she comes in and rescues them and berates them, and they all leave, except for the one guy who's like, "Oh, could I have some cigarettes?"
Yeah.
And a look on his
I heard
face.
you bust up too, and
You're like the best scene.
The look on his face was fucking priceless. It was just so hysterical.
Pissed, so angry.
It was great. It was wonderful.
I think
I just like the nuance type of things that happen. It's like the scene that scrolls outside with the 37 and it shows the guy is like he's basically an extra on the scene, and he just sort of strolls. Hey, get back here!
Get back.
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's just.
Well, yeah. Well, I was telling you guys earlier that the guy who basically has the best line in the movie, the one everybody always knows, which is 37 in a row, and that was supposed to be Bob. That was supposed to be Mike Bellicose was supposed to play Silent Bob, but Kevin Smith had originally wanted to play Randall, and then when he realized, oh shit, I can't memorize all this line. I'll just play Silent Bob and then have Mike play this role. And the guy who was supposed to play Dante was Ernie O'Donnell, who played Rick Darris. So it would have been a weirder Dante if, because he auditioned Ernie. Ernie, A, didn't memorize all his lines, and B, when he did go for the audition, he sounded like a jock. He didn't sound like Dante. And
Dante had the perfect
like a Rick Darris.
O'Brien had a great whiny demeanor.
Oh yeah.
For that was much.
I wasn't even supposed to be here that day. Is the catchphrase of entire Gen X.
Yeah, and I think they say a version of it like 4 or 5 times. He says it in the film.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he said it so much.
Yeah.
They were talking about beforehand, like you could make a drinking game out of him saying Silent Bob. Was like, I think he only said Silent Bob like 2 or 3 times, but he said other ones. They said a bunch of stuff. They asked about the shoe polish a lot. They asked about, or they talked about. He said, "I'm not supposed to be here today," like 5 times, 6 times. There's a couple that you could play a drinking game.
Each time Dante whined.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot too.
Yeah.
You'll probably be
You have
drunk.
to drink wine with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you drink wine with that. That's funny.
Make it a classy drinking game, huh?
There you go. But yeah, it was fun. Like it was enjoyable. I had a good time.
It was nice.
And we all got our posters. So
all got our posters,
Really
so
cool.
we
Right
had
at the beginning there.
Happy
Scrappy.
my little cat, my little annoying customer.
And how many people do you? Well, the annoying customer. That was one of the trivia questions on there, but there was a debate that happened because of one of the other trivia questions. Remember that?
Yeah, there was
'cause
30.
prior to the guy came out, did an intro, and was just having some good audience interaction, which was great way to run it there.
Well, he wanted it to hurry
I
up so
want
he
the
could watch
movie.
the movie.
But they played a lot of stuff before the movie too, like other Clerks related stuff. But they did the trivia question about how many. But he said how many times before Dante, and I was just like, that's 36. That would be
36.
37.
And then some guy actually said 36.
Yeah. I was
And
like,
then
he's
they
right.
said, no, it's wrong. And then one person got up and said 37. He goes, yes, that's right. And they're like, no, you said before. And he goes, okay, you're right. I did say before.
Fucked up.
You know, yep. But the other thing is he does say, like, the cat's name, and he asks what the cat's name is. Cat's name in the movie is Annoying Customer, because that's what Randall calls him. But I don't think that's really his real name.
No.
His real name
He
in
was
the...
being a smart ass to the guy.
I know. So in real life, his real name is Lennon's Tomb, which was because that was Vincent's cat or whatever. And Vincent always has some... Vincent Pereira, who I actually know and have met, hung out with, he said, was it... like he always has sort of crazy names. Like he named one of his ferrets Chimino, and we saw that in A Better Place. As you know, he talked about that and stuff. One of the ferrets.
Good
The
film
old
to
guy
watch.
was in
Good
that
film to
too,
watch, by the
right?
way.
Yes,
Yeah.
I pointed that out to
The video customer.
Joe. Yeah,
The wise guy.
the guy that's that got mad and where's my keys? No time for love, Dr. Jones.
And anybody who's watching this hasn't seen Better Place, check it out.
Yeah. It's
A Better
pretty good
Place.
movie.
But yeah, he has a great little role in that. And it's I believe like people have said that that's the same character that that he's playing the same character from Clerks. So I mean, in a way, it's A Better Place set in the View Askew universe. You know,
The View Askewverse.
yeah, the View Askewverse.
And how many? I mean, there was a good turnout too. Do you think there was 150 maybe people in there? Do you think it maybe
Something like
200? Maybe, but
Maybe.
it was
It was full.
a good turnout because we didn't even see what the upper balcony area was. But yeah, I mean, it was a very
Very good turnout.
and there was maybe 15 people who'd seen it on the screen on big screen before tonight. That was there. So
Oh, that raised their hands?
yeah, there wasn't many.
Yeah.
Us two were like
There was like
we're
one person that said they saw the Naro, and that was the person that was like hosting the show.
Yeah, he was like the
Yeah, it wasn't
projectionist.
me.
Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was.
so-
Yeah, it was funny. He was the projectionist and I guess the host.
Yeah,
so
the
I
host.
thought that was crazy.
Yeah, but
It was fun, and
yeah, they had a lot of good pictures up too around the place. Like just like they had the banner out front with if I assure you were
I
open.
assure you were open.
I assure you were
If you're
open.
going to shoplift, let us know at the
Which
register.
I always thought that would be a great T-shirt. I assure you we're open.
I assure you I'm open. And then pointing down.
Right.
Oh Lord, I don't know, but yeah, I love that movie. It was so funny, and I mean, I've loved it since I first saw it. So there's no, it wasn't something that I was always, that I thought, when I saw that it was playing, I was like, it'd be fun to go see it.
Mhm.
And then now they have a whole bunch, and I'm like, oh God, now I'm gonna be spending lots of money, like.
I have to say it though, as much as I love it, I still like Mallrats a little bit better. And I don't know
I
why.
still like Chasing Amy better,
I don't know
and
why.
stuff.
They're full of it.
Uh,
Blasphemy. Clerks is the best.
I mean, Clerks. Some people would agree with that because some people think like the first movies are the best. Like some people might think like Reservoir Dogs is Quentin Tarantino's best.
I think favorite movie probably is a better way to say it, because best you could best when you start saying best, it's like best quality made. Now there's other films are stronger made productions because there's more money obviously that was behind it. But
Yeah.
to
I
me,
mean, this
Clerks
is $27,000. I mean, it's a little movie that did.
pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Cud.
and it got the money, or it got the distribution because originally Harvey Weinstein hated it. Harvey Weinstein did not like the movie because he was a big smoker, and it was anti-smoking in the beginning, and he was like, "Fuck this," right, kind of thing. And then later, they're like, just see it at Sundance, watch it, and just get to 37. And after then, I bet you're gonna love this movie. And so 37 rolls around, and who's laughing? Harvey Weinstein's the loudest fucker in the whole thing. So I love that. I love hearing that because, even though he's a dick.
I was about to say, I was
and
like his endorsement doesn't ring.
yeah,
now.
now, but like he was the one that helped get it out there. Unfortunately, that is not a ring endorsement.
Yeah.
Not saying. I'm just saying it's kind of funny that like this movie could have like flopped or could have been like a different thing.
It just
like,
vanished.
Yeah, they were at one point. I think Kevin Smith was going to do a movie called Bussing. It would have been a bunch of would have been clerks in a restaurant. Now Waiting did that, but like that was years later.
Yeah.
They were going to do it first, and then they decided to go with I don't know if it's after Mallrats or before Mallrats or something. But that would have been. I would have loved to see that script. I don't know if it ever got made, but they have posters for Bussing, and it looks like Clerks. You know, as I think it's even a black and white poster, with like coloring on it. You know, so. I would have loved to see what else he had done in that sort of way, because he sort of did a like as Siskel and Ebert pointed out, he made working at a regular job into something interesting. You know, they're pointing out something I think you probably would have pointed out too, was that most of the time the occupations that people have are cops, robbers, pimps, prostitutes, that kind of thing.
Exotic stuff.
Yeah, things that people can't relate to. And this was a movie about a working class guys who show up, do their work, even though they don't want to, even on their day off.
See, that's why we should do one about podcasters and call it Pod People.
It's a completely different type of, like, the name is different.
But this movie, a 20-something working in a video store. I was a 20-something working in a video store. So to me, it's like it rings perfect. It's just.
Yeah, I never worked in a video store, but I went to plenty of them.
Well, it's funny. You worked at one, and then you related to this. I ended up working for one because of this movie.
There you go.
You know, so I mean, it affects people differently. And when I first saw it, I was in love with the dialogue and and the characters, and the fact that I'm not, you know me, I don't like movies set in like one location. But if it's a good movie and it's interesting enough and there's, good dialogue, I'm into it. And
well, and he was very creative with the way that he wrote some of the stuff, like having the gum locked in the gate to keep it the windows dark and stuff like that, because they had to shoot at night. They didn't have a budget. They had to shoot at night. They worked around with intelligent, creative writing.
Yeah.
And I mean stuff like that. To me, this is one of the premier indie films.
They probably could only afford one ball.
Maybe, but
no, it wasn't. Was it Jay said down at the bottom? He's like, I got two right down here or something. That Dingleberry. I got two for you.
Yeah,
two big ones or something. He says something to that effect.
My crew probably drank all the Gatorade.
Yeah. What did he say? He said about the biggest pair you ever seen.
Yeah,
there,
that's it. Yeah,
Dingleberry. And I'm like, that was great. I think he did a couple lines versions of that, and then that's the one they went with. Yeah. But it was funny. And then they showed the music video for you like that, didn't you? The Soul Asylum one. They show the hockey on the roof and the band is playing against them or whatever. Right. Thought that was a cool way to do it and everything.
It was.
And
the Siskel and Ebert. They showed some of the animation.
They showed some of the animation from Clerks and stuff.
There was a scene where the two of them were in a car. I think that was on.
That was Flying Car, which was a short that he did for Jay Leno. And you had never seen it, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing that either. I'd like to see it, just be able to sit and watch it.
It's on YouTube. Yes, you can easily watch it. It's pretty funny. It's Clerk. Like, it was one of the first times they did Clerks before the cartoon and stuff, and when I think so, or after the cartoon. But it was like bringing those guys back, and I'm surprised Randall, Jeff Anderson never really wanted to reprise Randall, because he didn't want to be Randall. He just kind of got forced to be him.
Does such a good job with him, though.
Yeah.
And then it's like everything that got done afterwards. I mean, this is the original, so this is like, there's no after this. So it gets looked on from society, and it becomes stereotypical character to a degree and stuff like that. But it's like this is the original. This is the core. This is raw. And it's just, to me, it's just
such a fun movie.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
And I want to say like flawless, not in the sense of filmmaking, but flawless in the sense of just enjoyment and understanding and appreciating what could be done with a good script and some talented people.
Yep. And and a lot of them are friends. Walt Flanagan played 4 or 5 different roles. Vincent Pereira played like 4. Dave Klein did a bunch.
Yeah, the one guy played the that gave the ticket to him for the smoking. He was also a paramedic. It looked like he was
I think so. Yeah.
bring out the dead guy from the bathroom.
And there was also the Walt Flanagan was the guy who played the egg guy, and then the next scene he played the
I'm so
irritated customer that was like sort of offended customer and stuff. So he played the same, like he played another role. And I remember watching this Jackie never noticed any of that. Like she because I was telling her this on an episode of Film Freaks, and she was looking at me and go, wait, somebody played more than one role? And I never, like, where was I? And I was like, you're watching it. Saw you watching it, so you just never noticed that? And I'm like, that's the point.
I'm not surprised.
That's the point, though. It's not, you're not supposed to notice that. That's why they put, like, another wig on somebody. And
and it's in black and white, that
it's
helps.
in black and white, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like the infamous scene where where he's dancing and stuff like that in Silent Bob. I mean, it's really dark around there and stuff like that. It's not about hiding other people, but it's just very, very limited money. I mean,
they went black and white because black and white stock was cheaper than color. Otherwise, they would have gone with color because like that's what sells better, or whatever. So,
but I think the black and white.
But I think the black and white kind of helps it out.
It gives it almost like at times like a. How like you see surveillance videos, like the cameras, the security cameras.
People
like
say that all the time too. It's weird.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm going to say though is it makes it feel more real. I don't know why, because black and white's not real, right? Color's real.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But this just is like a stamp in history. It's just like
depends on what you can see. Some people are colorblind that they don't see anything, and like they see things in black and white and gray.
I'm sorry for them. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was a great movie. Fun, great to watch. We got our posters. We had a fun time, and I think
Berserker.
we got great pictures too.
One of the great Gen X films. This and probably Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, well, those are like the more popular ones. But even like if you want to go back to like other movies that probably didn't inspire, but like Slacker was one that was also by the Dazed and Confused director, but also Stranger Than Paradise and things like that were big, like Gen X kind of things.
Slacker came out, I think it was before Clerks. It was in that early '90s.
Well, it was the movie that inspired Clerks.
Yeah,
because Kevin Smith saw it at a theater and was like, "This is amazing,"
I think it was like '91 or so. Yeah.
So anyway, well, thank you guys for checking this out. We will do. We might do one for Pulp Fiction. Who knows? We'll have a good time with that.
Pop-up video we do.
Yeah, pop-up video. Well, I can't do that because that's kind of taken. That's kind of a VH1 thing there. Can't call it pop-up video, but we'll figure it.
VH1 doesn't exist anymore, sort of.
MTV
owns them now.
Yeah, they own it, but it still exists. It's just owned by MTV.
Oh yeah, there's VH1. It's just the classic went away. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's still there, I think.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.